Would you like to be somebody who understands how you are able to change the experience of life just by your emotions and feelings, but however, the average lifestyle in our society makes that really difficult? Then listen to the end of this video where I explain how you are able to choose your emotions and feelings, essentially your reactions to things, and the way you feel really characterizes your life as a whole. But the electronics we use and our lifestyles are so busy and so packed that it's really tricky for us to tap into how we're actually feeling and take control of our emotions. So before we get into this video, please give it a thumbs up and subscribe to my channel if you'd like to learn more about self-development, dating, Jungian psychology, and how to reduce suffering in life. Let's get into it. Okay, so I tend to think that we as humans, we really lie at the mercy of our emotions and feelings. You know, if we feel happy, then the entire experience going on in that time frame of being happy, like whatever you're doing, is just elevated. It's a whole kind of different interpretation that you have when you're feeling happy, of like whether it's on your way to work, you're feeling good, it's totally different and it makes you feel alive. And the same thing goes vice versa. If you're feeling disappointed and, let's say, dissatisfied, then the whole experience of going to work feels like a real burden and like this sort of tedious experience where you don't really want to be there. So it really, your emotions influence the way you perceive the world at that point in time when you're experiencing the emotion. So the whole experience of life is heavily characterized by how you feel. So the logical conclusion is, if you mediate your feelings and emotions and your reactions, then you alter the summary of your life. If you could put a stamp on your life as an experience, you are able to change that stamp by changing your emotions and feelings. So your emotions and feelings lie close to the core of what life is in terms of a process, journey, experience. So if we can conclude from that, so you have the choice or the possibility to alter your life in a nutshell by altering this variable of emotions and feelings. But in order to do that, you must be able to listen and be mindful of your feelings and emotions. And in order to do that, there's one key requirement. You need to have knowledge. Well, this is essentially, you need to be aware and be mindful. You need to have knowledge on what's triggering the emotions and feelings in order to take control of the cause and effect relationship. So here's an example. Let's say you're an avid Instagram user and you upload a picture and you always have like an expectation of how many likes the picture will get. And unfortunately, this picture achieves or sort of collects fewer likes than you had expected, and that really disappoints you. It makes you feel low. It feels like something's wrong with you and you're not validated, and you start to question your self-value. You think you're not good looking enough in that picture, or maybe you're not good looking enough in general. It really vexes you. You're jaded. So the reason why being aware of the cause and effect going on, what is causing the feelings or the reaction within you, it's important to know that, because you need to be able to put the cause and effect relationship in perspective in order to prevent yourself from being jaded and reacting to it in a negative way. So let's use that example of the Instagram picture. You notice then you're mindful of what's going on. You think, okay, why am I suddenly disappointed? You think, okay, because I wish I would have gotten more likes on this Instagram picture I posted. But you reflect now. Does this Instagram picture, well, it's like this. You're upset, you wish the Instagram picture would have gotten more likes because it validates you as a person, as your self-value. Then you take a step back and reflect, okay, let me be mindful now. I'm upset because my self-value has been punctured by the disappointing number of likes on my Instagram picture. Now you say, well, the number of likes on my Instagram picture, does that really determine my self-value? No. There you go. And I know it's really difficult to convince yourself that, whilst you're in the moment and you get fewer likes, it's really like trying to tell yourself, this is not actually determining my self-value. It's so difficult. It still gets to you, I know. But if you're mindful, at least you have the possibility or the hope of actually preventing that reaction, that negative reaction from taking place. And it's the same with anything. Like if you're annoyed because, let's say after work every day you go and buy a pretzel at the shop next door which costs €1, and then suddenly the price gets put up to €1.10, and now that really aggravates you because you have to pay €1.10 instead of €1 now. But really, you can't change the price of that pretzel. It's just the way it is now. You're still alive, your lungs are working, your limbs are working, your brain is somewhat working. Life could be a lot worse. Put it into perspective. And then you can take control of how you reacted, and you'll actually won't let it get to you. It's all about perspective here. Now, I need to give a disclaimer. People will say, and I agree to this, that you are entitled to feelings and emotions, and you shouldn't always try to hide from the fact that you feel sad about something. I definitely agree with, you should let the emotions take their natural, if an emotion or a feeling is a stream, let the stream take its natural path. Don't try and alter the stream, the path of the stream. Because if you're altering it, you're essentially suppressing a feeling that will build up within you, and eventually it will become so heavy that it will make you tip, tilt, and collapse. And you don't want that. But you are able to alter. There are some day-to-day feelings, like the thing with the pretzel example, that you get annoyed that the pretzel is now €1.10 and not €1. That, I think, you do not need to react in a disappointed way. You are able to alter that in a way that does not come at a big cost for you. You're not bottling up something there, I think. You are, you might be bottling something up if the way you react to the pretzel is a consequence or is a chain reaction to something that annoyed you earlier on, maybe. But if it's just by itself, you are able to choose the way you react in a way that does not come at a big cost and does not trip you up later in life. Now, here's the thing. It's quite difficult for us to listen to our emotions and feelings and observe the cause and effect going on because we are so sedated by our routines. Our routines and environment make it quite uncomfortably difficult, I would say, to listen and observe to how you're feeling. For example, electronics. We're very often on a laptop, on a phone, on an iPad, some sort of electronic. And when you're going from one electronic to the next thing in life, you have these sort of buffers. Let's say you're studying on your laptop, and then you're going to go take a break. You take a break on your phone, and then you go back to your laptop again. Or if you're on your laptop at home, and then you're going to go meet friends with the public transport. When you leave your house, you plug in the music and listen to your phone then until you meet your friends. It's always like hopping from electronic to electronic. And music is something that sedates your thoughts and prevents you from needing to confront how you feel. And you build this habit of avoiding self-confrontation, which I have done, and I'm still in the process of trying to overcome. I listen to a lot of music, in between, when I go brush my teeth, when I'm, getting changed or something. I fill in the gaps between activities with this sedative. And also one thing I've really reflected on and actually concerns me a lot is the intensity of our schedules we have nowadays, how busy they are. People go from one thing to the next 7 days a week with sort of no time in between. You go to work, or you wake up, have breakfast on your phone, go to work, come back home, do sport, or go on to do something with friends, or go to take the kids to soccer practice or something. From the moment you get up until you go to bed, you're sort of obliged to fulfill a responsibility or some activity. And I see that in people, and it actually really worries me. Not just for society as itself, because we're sort of we're overburdened with activities and busyness. And I'm concerned for myself when I start working and getting a job that I won't have any time to think anymore, let alone reflect on my emotions and feelings, but just think. You know, just reflecting on emotions and feelings is difficult enough, but if you don't have the time for it, like, you're not going to do it, let alone think about, like, how, you know, thinking just not even emotions and feelings, but just logical, you know, thinking about whether it's a good idea to continue with the job you're doing, whether it's a good idea to change apartment and rent a new apartment, just these things. Like, you need to think about this stuff. This stuff is complex and requires time, but people don't have the time, or at least don't make the time for it. It's intense, yeah. So in conclusion, we are able to alter essentially the summary of our lives by choosing how to react to things and how we feel and emotions, and being mindful and aware of them, and then being able to alter the sort of small, insignificant reactions, but that do, you know, shift us into really negative moods for really petty reasons. And it's actually difficult to do that nowadays because our schedules are so intensely packed with activities that we don't really give ourselves the time to reflect on our emotions and feelings. So please leave a comment below whether you think there are any other reasons that make it difficult for us nowadays to listen to our emotions and feelings. I hope you enjoyed this video. Please give it a thumbs up and subscribe to my channel if you'd like to learn more about self-development, dating, Jungian psychology, and how to reduce suffering in life. Thank you for listening.